started at the 48, down 2 points, 2 minutes left, 3 timeouts. What more could you ask for?
Gary! I was just looking for the sports channel, Gary.
What's going on, Canes fans? Now listen up, y'all just saw the clip. If SpongeBob watches Coach Coop on game day, then I think you should too. I will be live right here on this channel for the Miami versus Michigan State game, just like I was last week, and I gotta tell you, it was a ton of fun. We had over 1,000 people hanging out, reacting, and watching the game together right here on the Coach Coop YouTube channel. And I truly think that you're missing out if you don't stop in and at least give it a chance. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. Like, for real, bro. You better pull up and let's hang out this Saturday. But let's just get right into this preview because it's going to be a real juicy one. The number 24 ranked 1-1 Miami Hurricanes are taking on the unranked 2-0 Michigan State Spartans. This game will be kicking off at noon on ABC at Hard Rock Stadium. And yes, I will have links to watch the game for free if you need one. Oh, geez Louise, man. Where do I even begin with this one? Let's just go ahead and discuss some big talking points for Michigan State. So last year, the Spartans went 2-5, not so great, right? But they're looking much improved this year so far, 2 games in, under head coach Mel Tucker, who is going into his second season as their head coach. And a lot of their success this season is thanks to the transfer portal. A lot of their big-time players are transfers. It would honestly, probably, realistically be easier and quicker to tell you what Michigan State has not done well this season so far. Their run game has been absolutely stellar, and Walker is currently 4th in the country in total rushing yards, and he is averaging a whopping 10.7 yards per carry. Quarterback Peyton Thorne has thrown for 458 total yards and 5 touchdowns and has completed around 50% of his deep shots down the field. And let's all just be honest here, the Spartans D-line is pretty stout. But let's just be honest about the Miami Hurricanes for a second here. Our numbers are a little bit skewed considering that we played Alabama week 1. Our week 2 matchup against App State was an ugly win, but a win nonetheless. That doesn't change the fact, however, that D'Eriq King is struggling to run the RPO. And part of the blame is on the O-line, 100%. They're struggling, bro. But part of the blame also falls on D'Eriq King. He has not looked sharp at all these last 2 weeks. We have no identity on offense. And back in 2019, under Dan Enos, and whoo, yes, I said it, under Dan Enos, we averaged, and I'm looking at my paper to make sure I get this right. On offense, we averaged 367 yards per game, which was roughly 5.7 yards per play. So far, 2 games into 2021, we're averaging 329 yards per game, which is roughly 4.8 yards per play. And I realized that week 1 we played Alabama. That's why I put the disclaimer at the beginning, and I said our stats are a little skewed because that's a big-time opponent that is on an entirely another level than where the Canes are. But, man, our offense was supposed to be the last of our worries, and it's something that the first 2 weeks of our season we can't stop talking about. And by talking about, I mean because it's bad. So is it all doom and gloom for Miami coming into this game? No, of course not. But there's no denying that this is a huge game for Manny Diaz and his staff. So let's talk some brief history between these two teams. Miami and Michigan State have only faced off 4 times in total, with Miami leading that series 4-0. And the last time they played was all the way back in 1989. So it's been a hot minute since these two squads have faced off. At this point in the video, I like to put up a little graphic image and discuss the average stats for both of these teams so far this season. And just keep in mind that I round the numbers up or down respectively. So far in the 2021 season. Average points per game, Michigan State coming in at a hot 40 points. Miami, a measly, pitiful 19. Points allowed against them per game, Michigan State 18, Miami 34. Average yards per game so far this season, Michigan State 553, Miami 321. And yards allowed against them per game, Michigan State 352, Miami 414. And once again, do I even need to say it? Miami game 1 was Alabama. Michigan State, we know who their previous opponents were, but also Miami's week 2 matchup was App State, who many people say is, this super powerful group of 5 Sun Belt school. But at the end of the day, it's still pretty crazy to see those numbers side by side. And just a quick note, a big part of those average yards gained for the Spartans are rushing yards, which comes out to more than double Miami's. And now let's transition over to 3 keys to a victory for both of these teams, kicking it off with Michigan State. Keys to a victory. Number 1, the Spartans are going to have to survive the heat. And when I say heat, I mean literally the heat. It is a noon kickoff in South Florida at Hard Rock Stadium. And with the way that stadium is designed, the heat is going to be beaten down on that Michigan State sideline all day long. It's going to be a hot one. Number 2, even though I praised the Spartans defense earlier in the video, their 3rd and 4th down defense remains questionable, and it must be better in this game. And it's actually an opportunity for them to really take advantage of Miami, because Miami's 3rd down conversion percentage has been absolutely terrible so far this season. I believe it's somewhere around 36 to 37%. It's not good. So even though the Michigan State defense has struggled a little bit on 3rd and 4th downs, if they can improve it a little bit, this is a great opportunity for them to look good and take advantage of Miami. And lastly, for the Spartans, just feed Kenneth Walker. Force the Canes to show you that they can actually stop him. I mean, the dude has rushed for 321 yards and 5 touchdowns so far. He's a beast. Give him the rock. And now let's discuss 3 keys for a Miami victory in this game. And kicking it off at number 1, the young freshman running backs for the Canes will have to come out ready to play. 2nd string running back Don Chaney Jr. went out of the App State game with a lower extremity injury, and apparently it's an ACL issue, and he is done for the season. And our other 2nd string running back, Jalen Knighton, is suspended for 4 games. So as you know, this is week 3, so he still doesn't get to play. So that leaves our number 1 running back, Cameron Harris, to shoulder the load, and then 2 freshman young running backs who have little to no snaps at all. I'm pretty sure no snaps, Cody Brown and Thad Franklin. They are really going to have an opportunity here to shine and show that they deserve some play time, but they're going to have to step up big time, and this is in a big game. Number 2, the offense must establish some sort of tempo or identity in this matchup. Overall, the offense has regressed this season, period. The pitiful play calling and O-line play from the last 2 weeks will not cut it against the Spartans. I can promise you that. And lastly, the Canes need better communication overall on defense, especially in the back end. I expect to see some younger guys getting more snaps in this matchup due to just necessity and due to the fact that we have a lot of guys who aren't playing that well on defense. So expect to see them get a lot more snaps this week, and I hope that the communication can improve. So it is now time for everybody's favorite part of the video, because people like to come back to it if I'm wrong and talk some smack. And even when I'm right, sometimes they find something to type up in the comment section and poke fun at me, but that's okay. It is my official score prediction for the game. But before we get into it, I'm going to pop up the ESPN matchup predictor right over here on the left-hand side of the screen. They have Michigan State's win percentage chance coming in at 34.3% and Miami at 65.7%. So Michigan State, as expected, is the underdog traveling down to South Florida at Hard Rock Stadium. And I believe right now, currently, the spread, Miami is a 6.5-point favorite in this game. And I'm seeing a lot of talk, a lot of chatter on social media. A lot of Canes fans are not happy with Miami's coaching staff, with our performance over the last few weeks. But most Canes fans, from what I'm seeing, are predicting a Miami Hurricanes victory in this matchup. And what I want you to do, I want you to let me know down in the comment section below kind of how you're feeling about this game. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give Miami 24. And I have Michigan State. Bro, this is tough to do. Putting up 34. That's right. I have the Miami Hurricanes losing this game by 10 points at Hard Rock, at our house. 34-24. And call me a hater if you want, but the Canes have to show me something. They have to prove me wrong in this game, because even though we got the win against App State, a lot of people are going to say that took fight, that took grit, Coach Coop, that Miami was able to pull it through and get the dub against what's a pretty good team that plays Power 5 teams pretty well. I get that, but it's much deeper than that. I'm looking past just wins and losses. I'm looking at how the team overall is performing. I'm looking at the play calling, the coaching, how prepared they are. I'm reading body language on the sidelines. And to me personally, it doesn't give me a good feeling when I look at all these things. When I go back and watch the tape, when I review the stats, it is difficult for me to pick Miami to win this game. And that's just me trying to use my brain with these predictions. I told you guys that, in my preview videos, I go with my brain, not my heart. I take my Canes pride and I set it aside. Right now, I'm 1-1 on my predictions, and I'll go ahead and explain to you what happened in the Alabama game. I let the hype get to me, the preseason talk. At that point, we didn't truly know what product was going to be on the field for the Miami Hurricanes, but now we have 2 weeks. I've had an opportunity to evaluate the team and see where I think we stand, and can we continue to improve? Yes, we can. This is only week number 3, but I'm telling you, bro, the Canes have to show me something. I would love to be wrong. There are times when you're doing this that I think some people, some viewers don't understand, that if I'm incorrect here, if Miami gets a victory by however many points, people like to come back and they say, ha ha ha, Coop, you were wrong. Miami got the victory. Do you think that I'm upset over that? I would love to be wrong. I would love to eat my words. I was about to say eat the score prediction, but I can't do that anymore because it's a whiteboard and this thing's not edible. So I would love to be proven wrong in this. Please, Miami Hurricanes, beat Michigan State by a convincing 2 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns and a field goal. I don't know. Pour it on them in front of our home crowd, because this is a big time game. I realize it's not an ACC matchup. It's not conference play, but this is one of those that Michigan State has a pretty good football team, and they're an actual Power 5 school, so it's a step up from App State. So we've beaten a Sun Belt team, and then we lost to a good football team. So what have we done so far this season? Not a whole lot. Negative Coop is coming out just a tad, but man, I hope that I'm wrong on this score prediction. Discuss yours down below. It doesn't change anything when it comes to how hype I am for the game, because anything can happen. Anything. This is college football, and can Miami win this game? Absolutely. And do they have a good chance of winning it? Yeah, they do. But bro, they got to prove me wrong in this one. Remember though, guys, we're all one big happy college football family, but at the end of the day, I gotta say, it's always better when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out. Now I'm gonna see y'all on Saturday afternoon right here for the live hangout. Right?